All right, what's up, everyone? Look, there's been a lot of weird stuff happening inside this restaurant. There's just been a lot of weird situations that's been going on. So I'm not even going to go into all of them, but I'm going to go into basically, I'll maybe just go to the last two weird situations that we had. So yesterday alone, we had two ladies. It looks like a mother and a daughter. I could be wrong. Who knows? We didn't ask them. But they came in, they had their face covered, face mask. And we don't really get too many people with face masks come in anymore, but occasionally you do. And we're in Philadelphia, so you'll see people walking with face masks. You see people walking with face masks, driving their car by themselves. The face mask, there's still a hardcore group of people that still wear the face mask. One thing, they came in yesterday, and they came in the restaurant with their face mask, which is, again, that's not the big deal, but we find out why they had their face mask on at the end of the story. So they come in, off the bat, they're a little bit of rude. My server, off the bat, tells me, he's like, I don't know, we got two people, it looks like a mother-daughter, but I don't know, he's like, he's like got a weird feeling off of them. He's like, they were really rude when they came in. He said when he greeted them at the door, their first words were like, water and lemon, and then they just sat themselves. And they sat themselves in between, like it was a pretty empty restaurant at that time, in between like two other parties. And they just sat themselves right in between. So he comes in the kitchen and he tells me, he's like, look, you got a little, nothing's wrong, but you just got weird people. He's like, I don't think they're gonna order food because I don't think they came here to eat. I'm like, all right, whatever. So, but they sat themselves down. He comes in the kitchen to get some food for another table, and in that short period of time, they left. Like they were gone. They were out of the restaurant. So I'm like, did something happen? He's like, nah. He's like, I don't think they were ever gonna eat. And we didn't think much of it at that point. It was just like, all right, I guess they're gonna eat, whatever. I don't think, maybe something upset them. You try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. An hour later, we get a phone call. One of the guests that was sitting next to them says that the credit card was stolen at the restaurant. Of course, she knows it was not us, but she's like, she feels that it was stolen basically when, the two guests sat next to them in the restaurant and they left abruptly. It's because they stole their credit card. So, hence, now you know why they were wearing face masks. They were wearing face masks to cover their faces because they were up to no good. And again, yes, I'm in Philadelphia, but this is actually, for those that don't know, this is like one of the nicest areas in Philadelphia. But I'm telling you, it's been weird. Now, I have also someone now that is part of the neighborhood that I see every single day, a lady that walks around that she's just constantly talking to herself, loud. So normally if somebody's talking to themselves, I really wouldn't even notice it. But this person, even when I'm inside of the restaurant and she's walking by the restaurant, I can hear this person. She wears like a long trench coat, whatever. But it's just weird how all these things are popping up now. A week ago, I had somebody come in, and this situation was another weird situation. Guy comes in, and there was a couple of red flags. Don't get me wrong. My server is a really nice guy. This is going to be the last story because I don't want to make this video too long. He comes in. He has a hospital bracelet on, and he looks like he's talking to himself. But my server's like, he might have had like a Bluetooth, so he might. I just don't see it. That's what he's talking about. Yeah, I'm telling you, that's how nice my server is. Give him 100% benefit of the doubt. Guy gets sat at like one of our prime tables over here in the back. I'm cleaning up here, so our tables in the back that we have over here, which you kind of have to pass those tables to go to the back of the restaurant, or the restrooms and stuff. He gets that table because he says he's with a party of 4. So we're like, all right. So we put him in there, and we waiting for the rest of his party. So he doesn't wait for the rest of his party. He says, I'm gonna start ordering. And it's funny because he starts saying some weird stuff. He's like, you got cappuccinos? He's like, I want to order a steak, and I want to order paella. I want to order this. And it's like, at that point, it's like, all right. I think the first reaction or the first thought of this situation was correct. But now he's inside of the restaurant, and he's in the middle of the restaurant. And at that point, the restaurant was a little bit empty, right? But I did not mention one thing. The guy also smelled like he had urinated in himself. Like he basically smelled like he pissed on himself, because he probably did, right? So he is there, and at that moment, he's already at the restaurant. So I'm like, you know what? He might be homeless. We could feed him, whatever. It's not a big deal. The problem was, the gentleman not only could not stop talking to himself, he started talking to anybody that came in. And then, of course, we had parties just started to walk in. This is usually what happens, you know, a bad situation. That's when everybody starts to show up. And at that point, everybody that showed up, he was just like saying hi to them and speaking across the restaurant. And it was just a weird situation. And then if you had to go through the bathroom, the guy smelled pretty bad. Like, I didn't know until I went out. I ended up having to come out of the kitchen. I spoke to the gentleman, and eventually I had to kick him out. I don't want to say in a bad way, but it was just like that situation. It was just like, I want to help one person, but I can't help one person and piss off 30 people in the restaurant just to try to be, you know, there's a point on being nice, and then there's also being stupid. So if the gentleman would have been a little bit quieter or whatever, I probably would have just let him eat his, you know, be in peace, but he was disrupting the whole restaurant. That was like, so this is in the last 2 weeks. I mean, there's a couple of stories that go back, but I don't want to make this video too much longer. But I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I mean, now there's a lady that walks out here that I don't know her, but she's also talking to herself, but talking to herself loud. To the point that I'm in the restaurant and I hear her talking outside. And I walk out and I'm like, oh, it's the lady. Okay, I know, it's the lady. She has like a big trench coat. It's like, today's hot. She has a trench coat, and she wears the face mask also, and she has, look, I don't know. But the neighborhood is getting a little weird. And this is one of the nicest neighborhoods in Philadelphia. But again, we are in the city, so you're gonna see city things. Even though, I don't know, some of the people that live in this neighborhood don't assume or don't expect that. But that's it. That's what it is. This has been very weird things happening in the neighborhood or in the restaurant, for a restaurant in this location that is usually pretty quiet as far as like any extra stuff going on. So, yeah, peace, man. Later.